Hey out there, YouTube. It's Wake Angel 2001. Alright, it's the Black Friday weekend, and I am coming off of some grueling shifts. I had a 12-hour shift on Thanksgiving and an 8-hour shift on Friday itself. It involved a lot of, fortunately, no fights broke out. That's a good thing. And when we ran out of tablets and video game consoles to sell, people were disappointed, but nobody got violent. So I say this is a good year for Black Friday. Although yes, we did have armed guards and suits. I felt like you have like a government agent standing guard over you. Okay, so I may if the light catches me the right way, I may kind of look a little bit like a corpse. That's just because my circadian rhythm has been completely and utterly destroyed by those work shifts. I mean, I got home from my Friday shift around midnight, but because of the 12-hour shift the day before, my sleep schedule was so badly messed up, I couldn't properly fall asleep until 5 a.m. I then woke up at 7 to watch today's episode of Sonic Boom, and then fell back asleep until about 12:30. So as I'm recording this, it's a little bit before 2 o'clock, so still not really 100%. I'm probably gonna have to take a shower after this. Anyway, today they only gave one episode of Sonic Boom. That is Double Doomsday, I believe it was called. Which the funny thing about this episode is that it kind of vindicates what I said last week. About how there's no real sense of law or ordered society in the Sonic Boom world, because there's evil fanboys. Yeah, the episode starts with Sonic and Amy getting a meal at a fast food restaurant. Ooh, could this be a hint that could this sort of be a date for the two of them? So Dr. Eggman cuts the line so that he can get his food first, and at first Sonic wants to confront him over it, but Amy, being the stable one of the series, just says that she doesn't want to make a scene and just let him get his food. But the fast food guy, who's a lanky teenager with huge buck teeth, it's just this tall, lanky teenager with huge buck teeth, and braces. He has braces on those two buck teeth. A beaver with crooked teeth. I think he's supposed to be a beaver or a chipmunk. But he has no visible tail, so I'm guessing he has to be a chipmunk because beavers have very distinct tails. I digress. He backs Eggman, saying, "I believe that Eggman was here first," and so he serves Eggman, and it's worth noting that Eggman gets his order perfectly, and Sonic and Amy's order takes a little longer to fill, and when it comes, Sonic's burger has extra pickles when he asked for no pickles. So so it turns out that the reason this happens is because the teenager in the fast food restaurant is an Eggman fan. He is an evil fan. He admires Eggman's work, and he wants to become an intern and an evil. So yes, we have a world where well, I guess if I were to describe it, Dr. Eggman would officially hold the rank of a dangerous terrorist. So dangerous terrorist who has openly made assaults on the town can just waltz into a fast food restaurant and have the staff there beg to become interns in his Office of Evil. But we're just doing the plot synopsis now. So the kid goes to to Dr. Eggman's secret base, where Dr. Eggman assigns him intern stuff, mostly cleaning and stuff, and talking and praising, and oh my God, Eggman, you're so awesome. Yes, thank you, I know I'm awesome. And Cubot and Orbot are pushed back, because Dr. Eggman has an intern now, and Cubot and Orbot they don't have they're not necessary anymore. Oh my, our jobs are at risk. Yeah, and he's taking over all the things that we used to do. Things kind of come to a head when when Orbot is wondering what happened to Cubot and he goes into the little closet space where they stay and oil drips down from the ceiling, and when he looks up a ceiling panel falls and Orbot comes down in pieces. Like, holy crap. Orbot tries to get Dr. Eggman to reassemble Cubot, but, you know, Dr. Eggman's too busy with his new intern to actually do anything. So, amazingly what happens is that Orbot takes the parts of Cubot back to Sonic so that Tails can reassemble him. Oh gosh. This is the world we live in. The bad guys' minions can come over like, oh, hey there bros, I know we tried to kill you last week, but do you think you can put my friend back together? Although I guess it's not really that much weirder than when Dr. Eggman stayed with them a few weeks ago. So after rebuilding Cubot, the two of them go back. Actually, that has very little bearing on the plot because what really happens... Oh, I know why. The reason Orbot and Cubot had to go back to Sonic and Tails was so that Tails could show off another one of his wacky inventions! Yeah, it's a device that reverses the power fields of whatever he points it at. So he flushes a toilet, and normally toilet water goes down. But when he points his wand at it, the toilet water comes up instead. And Sonic says it's a great plunger substitute because now whenever they have clogs, they can just reverse the flow. That does not sound very pleasant, though. I mean, can you imagine it? Imagine if your toilet was clogged. Would you really think that getting whatever is in there to come out would be the best idea? Okay, so then we cut back to the Eggman base, where the intern kid, whose name I've already forgotten, I think it was Billy or something stupid like that, he wants to do evil. But Dr. Eggman says that he's got to take this slow, and it could be a few weeks before he actually participates in any real evil plans. Being impatient, he says that he's going to prove to him that he can be evil. So he runs and locks himself into the lab and activates a doomsday machine that was shown earlier in the episode. Yeah, I forgot to mention, he like, ooh, is this your doomsday machine? Oh yes, it looks like it could destroy 100 worlds. Well, it could certainly destroy one. I just took the power source out so I wouldn't accidentally trigger it. So what happens is the kid, he runs in there and he activates the doomsday machine. He says, I'll show you that I can be evil. I'm going to destroy the world way better than you ever could. And Eggman, unable to open the locked door, says, oh yeah? Well, I'll make a doomsday machine, and it'll destroy the world way worse than the doomsday machine you're setting up. So Dr. Eggman builds his own doomsday machine in the living room. It's amazing how casually evil people can just go to suicide, as long as it involves taking everyone else out with them. I mean... Why would you build a doomsday machine unless you wanted to kill... A doomsday machine destroys the world. It doesn't conquer the world, it destroys it. You live on that world. Why would you want to destroy the thing you live on unless you're suicidal? Dr. Eggman, do we need to have a talk? Alright, so that's that. So with Orbot and Cubot explaining why Dr. Eggman's new intern is taking all the effort, Tails notes that there's some weird power readings coming from the base, and there's two. He realizes that 2 doomsday machines got activated, and they got a. Oh, he could tell this based on how powerful and unstable the energy source is, because you know, why would it do? That does sound like the way a doomsday device would work, right? So they fight. They get back to the lab, and they realize that the only way to stop it, like Sonic asks if they can turn the doomsday machines off. But of course, doomsday machines don't have off switches. Why would you put an off switch on your doomsday device? So Tails realizes that the only way to save the world is to get the 2 doomsday machines to cancel each other out. Like, up their power, and then put one in the reverse of the other, so that when they go off, they'll cancel each other out. Okay, I can dig that. So, yeah. So when they go to the base, they, Tails goes to the intern and Sonic goes to Eggman, and they work together Sonic mostly makes Eggman a peanut butter sandwich, while Tails helps the intern guy. You know, they put in huge batteries to up the power. Like Tails and Sonic successfully manipulate the two evil guys into thinking that they're going to make their Doomsday Machine destroy the world even better, or worse, as the case is. But what they're actually doing is, you know, setting up the canceling thing. So the time comes, the axe falls, both of the machines activate, they blow an unholy hole in the ceiling of the building, and this huge light show starts. These waves start coming out, but then the waves interfere, and the two orbs of light merge, and poof, it all disappears. All right, and then a black hole emerges from the sky, starts sucking everything in. Tails realizes that there must have been a small power discrepancy, and that's why the Doomsday devices didn't completely cancel out. That's when Sonic realizes that he's still holding one of the batteries from Eggman's Doomsday devices. Alright, let's not point fingers. Let's just try to stop this. So Tails' invention, which is shown earlier in the episode, the reverse thing, can reverse the black hole so that it you know, won't destroy everything. But Sonic has to go right up to the precipice of the black hole so he can go in there, and if he doesn't move fast enough, not only will he be pulled inside, but all of existence as we know it will be destroyed. So, you know, no pressure, Sonic. So he goes up there, he turns off the black hole, he saves the day, hooray! And Dr. Eggman throws the intern out, he goes, you'll see, you'll all see, you'll all be done. Like he says some evil maniacal thing, but he just goes back to the fast food industry, which is truly the most evil provocation you can have. This is episode 7. It feels like a good mid-series episode, like that we had some Fate of the World stuff at stake. It's hardly Finn and Jake fighting the Lich King levels of Fate of the World, but it is pretty cool to see Dr. Eggman take on a protege, at least not one that he had to build. Because we've seen Eggman have evil fanboys in the past. This actually kind of reminds me of an episode of Batman where a little boy idolized the Joker. You know, so Joker tried to take him in to be kind of like a Robin equivalent. Except in this case, in Batman, the little boy realized that Joker was just a freaking psycho and couldn't go through with the whole being evil thing. While here, the guy just couldn't. He figured he wasn't being allowed to be evil enough, and he decided to go ahead and just completely destroy the world. What drives some teenage... I mean, I know the fast food... I used to work in fast food when I was in college. Like, I worked in the food courts of the campus, so I know it can be really stressful and stuff, but I never really wanted to destroy the entire world. I don't know. Maybe if I did a couple years in McDonald's or something, my opinions would change. But really, I've been working retail for 2.5 years, and I don't feel the need to destroy anything yet. Yeah. So this is still a fun episode. Knuckles and Sticks weren't in it at all, but that's fine. You don't need to have the whole cast all the time, because then you might find yourself, like, you might think that they're just kind of window dressing. So it's better to keep some of the characters out of some of the episodes rather than force all the characters to be in the episodes and make all the scenes crowded. You know, it just makes sense that way. I don't know, like, I mean, there probably really isn't anything particularly too special about this episode, except for the implied stakes. Like, the world almost was destroyed compared to every other episode where a party got interrupted or Dr. Eggman was an annoying house guest. But distracting phone is distracting. Maybe I should really start reading my comic book. Maybe once the series' first season ends, I'll start to review the comic books for these vlogs. That should be fun. I haven't had a chance to read the new issue. It arrived in the mail yesterday. That's how busy I've been. Yeah, so that's this crazy episode. Yeah. I'm not entirely convinced that my theory's wrong. I mean, if anything, this episode, like I said at the beginning of this vlog, has vindicated my theory that Sonic's world has absolutely no sense of law and order, or if so, the government that's in power has absolutely no military strength of its own. If people want to be evil, they can just go ahead and be evil, and the only thing that will stop them are the people who just want to be good guys. So, if you're an average citizen in this world, then you're pretty much living your life on borrowed time, because there is absolutely nothing to stop a terrorist from completely leveling your house, except your next door neighbor who happens to have superpowers and doesn't also want to level your house. But you know what? That's okay. I mean, this isn't Sonic X. This isn't Sonic set in our world. This is Sonic in his own world. It's a unique and different thing. Sure, I know a lot of people are disappointed that this isn't like Sad AM, because in Sad AM you had stakes, like the evil guy had conquered the world, and it was a dark dystopia. He's polluting the environment. He's enslaved the populace, and he literally robs them of their free wills by turning them into robots. That was great. That was a real dark, dramatic series, and that this one is so basically lighthearted just disappoints a lot of the old guard fans, people my age. But me personally, I can accept the lighter stakes. It's a different thing. I remember the last series that tried to mimic the previous show, Beware the Batman. They tried to do a return to form with a dark and gritty to try and be sort of like the Batman the Animated Series. The only problem is that it couldn't avoid the inevitable Batman the Animated Series comparisons, and in comparison, it just wasn't as good. And the animators pretty much outright said that they wouldn't be trying to be as good as Batman the Animated Series, which was the series' downfall while it was cancelled after only a single season. Yeah, unfortunately, I tried to Beware the Batman, but although it was a decent show, it just didn't capture me. And when it finally went, I did not care nearly as much as when they cancelled Green Lantern or Young Justice, because those previous two shows were striving to be a great thing. They were trying to be original and awesome and cool, on their own terms, not just trying to do a mimicry of something that came before. And so, that's why when Beware the Batman was cancelled, it was a big meh for me. But I feel that Sonic Boom, what it's doing now, it's doing more of the Green Lantern animated series route. It's trying to be its own unique thing, which is special in its own right and enjoyable on its terms. It's not trying to live up or trying to live just under some nostalgic thing from the early 90s. You know, it's funny. The original Sonic Sad AM cartoon aired in 1993. Which is about the same time that the original Batman the Animated Series cartoon aired. They were contemporaries of each other. So this is actually a huge parallelism. But yeah, that's, how long have I been talking? 18 minutes? Yeah, considering how there was only one episode that was about 12 minutes long, and I've been talking longer than the episode itself, I think it's time to end this vlog. Anybody who has any opinions on how this episode might have been, let me know in the comments. I like to get active in the comments and respond to people down there, if YouTube alerts me to them, that is. So, this is Wake Angel 2001. I like this episode, and I'm signing off.